fight for the middle class. Oh, don't worry so much. Hands are down, not out. think it's about time for an epic bar crawl.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, shit. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Don't mind me, I'm just making some food and drinks.
Oh, it's totally fine. Nice hair. Love the color.
Thank you.
Okay, so can I plant my SI here while you do all the work? That sounds not good. You know, I have been walking. Good, because I was gonna do it anyway. I've been walking way too fucking long and, you know, trying to be a tough
You
girl.
really need to wear something a bit more comfortable. You're still in those high heels.
Listen, okay, alright, listen. Yeah, first of all, I go everywhere in my heels. Thank you. But no, you're right.
You were complaining about it the other day.
I was not complaining about it.
Yo, dude.
Mess is that master, and I'm going to be completely fine with it. Because I really don't give a shit what I want.
Did you not eat the food that I brought you?
What did you bring me?
I brought you a whole bag of food.
No. Not either that or the
Okay.
fucking some shit. Got it? Did not. I didn't get shit.
Wait, you think one of the doctors stole your food?
I don't know.
I mean, I can say from experience, Nancy and the local EMS do tend to do that.
Ah, see? See?
But the actual, like, me or one of my other employees, no.
No, he's probably confused. He probably didn't put the food down. And he's just trying to mess with me because of things right now.
That's fair. I mean, we've been opting for getting, like, mini fridges in the ICU rooms at least. Or any of the, you know, cafeteria and stuff.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah, that would be nice. We'll try to put stuff in that fridge in the cafeteria of the hospital, but it's just sealed shut, you know.
Yeah, it's not even, like, we don't know where the key is. So we're just gonna ask, like, our medical board to see if we can, you know, get a different fridge. Just have this one taken out and get a complete new one. So far, no luck.
Yeah, because definitely hospital food leaves a lot to be desired.
I mean, I'm hoping that I can get my food business up and then I'll whack some of the food that I make at my business into the fridge. That way it's not like just hospital food, it's also good quality food.
I like that idea. There you go. I have to thank the doctor. You know, it's so sad that I thanked the doctor because they had pillows.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we have pillows. Try to take the best care of everybody. And that includes the people that are put into beds, you know? A pillow is the least we can do. Pillow, blankets.
You know, some actually hospitals don't even have fucking pillows. So I'm sitting here like, you know, with my head almost breaking, looking straight up at the damn ceiling bright ass light.
Go and grab some dough.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the lighting is just old. I don't know. We might be able to put some new lighting in soon. I'm not sure. Neat. Hope you two take care. I'm gonna head off and get to you with the business.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Sorry, I hope you didn't mind my rambling. I'm just.
No, you're all good.
Right now.
No, you're all good. Don't worry about it. I mean, you stay safe. Take care.
You too.
Odd placement for a bus. Uh, Mike? Why is everything blurry? Oh,
Are you having
oh hi.
your eyes having trouble?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, no worries. I had a feeling. I unfortunately forgot to account for the season. So I got here an hour early.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I just completely spaced on it, and then I realized, and so I've just been reading a book the whole time.
You're all good. You're all good. Yeah, I'm a little bit early myself. You can probably hear it in my voice. That's why I'm wearing a mask. I'm not 100%, but
Yeah, no, I'm not doing too good myself. So once this is over, I'm gonna bail out for a bit because I need to rest. I'm going through something.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I think we're both in the same kind of like boat.
yeah. I've heard there's been I'll tell you what I heard because it's just like I've been absent for like 2 weeks, and then Taylor was taking over, and then he tried to fill me in, but obviously there was only so much information he can positively like, you know what I mean. Whenever someone tells me something, I always try to get both sides so that I understand and get the full picture, because sometimes people misinformation out, right?
Mm.
Okay, so I know that the chief of the hospital, Lily, left, and Natalie too.
Mhm.
So that's the information I know now. Currently, to my understanding, the hospital is under, well, Sam's is under the board, the medical board, which is like a government official kind of thing. Is that right? Okay, so that's correct. Okay.
Yeah. So
know-
to like, I keep on. I'm gonna stand on your other side.
Yeah, I was gonna say that door is very it's really weird whenever anyone
It's
sits
very
at that door,
magnetic.
I can't hear. Yeah, those are very good doors.
Okay. So sorry. Yeah. So we do have a medical board in place, but the chief of EMS, Herman, the chief of the hospital, which is Jeff, and myself as the chief of vet, are currently the highest ranking.
That's
You know,
that works with what information I was given as well. Yeah, like you're all sort of like trifecta team together.
we're
the
all the
medical board is trying to
directors.
help with the-
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
that's
then,
true.
to my understanding, a lot of the issue currently, well, not really an issue. You know what I mean? A lot of the problems that you guys are currently having is because this is what I've been told. The chief before never wrote any SOPs. That's what I've been told. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. Yeah. I
So
was just
there.
informed that there's no SOPs.
Well, we realized that we did have SOPs, but they were incomplete. And
Yeah. that
during
checks out.
yeah, and during the time where me, Jeff, and Herman were hired, we've already been asked from that time period, which is like now give or take 3 months, to be working on that paperwork while working at the hospital, which we did. Then we got promoted to our positions as chiefs, and then it was kind of where it kind of like spiraled, where the director and the deputy director were unavailable in any way, shape, or form, even though we tried to reach out to them like through phone, through text, through email, through everything. And then we heard from Danny Taylor that they resigned, so it was unaware to us until we had that meeting. And then it was like, okay, then we were talking to the medical board, like, hey, what is going to be the plan? They said, work on the SOPs. You guys are technically in charge. I am the person to be like, if you have any questions, notes, etc., you can talk to me about it, and I will be on the global scale, if that makes sense. So that's what we did. Our SOPs are now active. We have our SOPs. The only thing that we are still working on, for the most part for me and for the doctor side, are the treatment guides. EMS side is currently, I would say, like 99% finished, that we are actually
and I mean,
already using them.
Realistically, the treatment guides and the surgical guides and all that are going to be the hardest, so it makes sense why you're taking your time with those, because they are I don't think people realize, because I was a paramedic very brief, well,
Mhm.
for like 5 months in another state. I don't think people realize how hard that kind of situation is, how hard it is to do surgery, like etc.
Mhm.
Because you have to do it to a certain degree, otherwise, people can sue, blah blah blah. You don't want people using, I don't know, lollipop sticks to reconnect someone's legs tissue.
Yeah,
So I completely understand why it's taking a while.
but we hope to
Yeah.
at least have it done as soon as possible. With me, unfortunately, the way that I'm feeling, I haven't fully been able to work at it at the pace that I wish to. I cannot say for the others. Like I said, I think the EMS side, we are currently back on the hiring side, for at least for EMS. So we
Oh,
are
brilliant.
open to hire people on that side. But the doctor side, and for me, the veterinary side, at the moment, not yet. Because I don't have a training guide yet. I'm working on it, but I don't have a full training guide yet.
Yeah, understandable. And like I said, surgery is hard. It's
It
not
is.
easy. So I understand completely what you mean. It's you gotta look out for certain signs, understand what certain signs mean, that kind of thing. So yeah, I
Yeah.
completely understand.
And unfortunately, we also had to deal with some employees within the department that were kind of like working against us in a little bit of a way as well. We are working on that. We are trying to coach them, to teach them, etc. But unfortunately, some of them have left to either PD or the DOJ, which is fine. Again, we understand that that is the case, but unfortunately, it's noticeable recently that a lot of out-of-state doctors have come in without our knowledge or consent or permission or whatever, trying to take care of people while we are not there. But it feels a little bit like, even though we have tried to like bring it to everybody's attention within BD and within the DOJ, that we are working on it, and please be patient. It still seems like our patience is not being accepted, taken into regards, and that's a little bit like
Yeah.
annoying. Sorry to say, it's annoying
No, I
because
understand. Yeah, I'm sorry because you've obviously gone through a lot. I haven't been around for the past 3-4 weeks. I'm trying to get back. It's out of state life is hard right now. But I mean, like you clearly understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, it
But
feels like we're
if I'd
being
have
tested.
known-
We feel like we're being
yeah,
tested
if I'd
and
have
pulled.
known that you were going through so much, I would have been trying to help at least. I feel like the thing is, a lot of people are quick to criticize, but no one's ever able to actually offer help, which annoys me. One thing I was actually gonna try and bring up, because I know we've discussed this in the past, and this is not me saying anytime today or anything. This isn't me trying to say like I'm doing this for I'm doing this because you guys aren't or anything. I promise on that. I'm doing this purely because I want to do it. I'm trying to make I'm trying to make a system so that you can, whenever someone passes away, you can just make a death certificate. I've been in states before where they've had a thing where you pull out your phone, you go onto like a certain website, and then you just put in the information, you get the death certificates back, kind of thing, and then you can just log those in like the email chain or something, just to basically clarify that someone's dead.
Yeah.
And then it helps with the archive and stuff. I feel like that would be very helpful. I'm doing the same for marriages, for divorces.
Yeah, for everything,
all that.
basically.
So yeah, different certifications, but it's to make people, maybe even business certifications, so that people can see that they actually own a business. But yeah, I am working on something like that, just to kind of maybe give you guys a bit of a break a little bit, because I do think that I have noticed, because obviously I get access to police records. There's a lot of DOAs lately. And
Yeah, and we've been trying at
it's been
least
bad.
to work on that.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how hard dead bodies are, because it's not just like, oh, Sam's gets a dead body and then it goes in the morgue. It's Sam's gets a dead body, it goes into the morgue, then they have to autopsy, then they have to, you know what I mean? There's a lot more to it than just what people think, and I don't think people realize how hard all that process actually is.
Yeah, and like I said, unfortunately, some of the employees have also kind of been working against us by extending, like, where are the boundaries within the SOPs, not having SOPs, etc. We've been dealing with
Right.
that, and then again, we also had like a little bit of a new system. We have new templates in place right now to make it easier, but they have caused the MDTs to crash sometimes, so it doesn't fully save. So it's also like technical stuff that we are still working on. For say 90% it works, and then the 10% it's like we're getting dragged into situations that for 99% aren't without or within our control, and then we're trying to pick up the slack and move on and work on what we can. But then
Yeah, I understand.
having people come in and having their own doctor fly in from God knows where that aren't even hired in the department, and then having people discharged and
Yeah,
that
I
kind of
know what you're
stuff.
talking about.
That's a little
Yeah,
bit
I
too far, I'm
understand
sorry
what.
to say.
Yeah, no, I've been keeping. Sorry, I picked up something.
You're fine.
I have I have an idea what you're talking about. I feel like I know what you're talking about. It is definitely a problem. Because like you said, there's nothing on record. If this should ever go to court for some reason, whatever they were, you can't there it messes with your department and mine because it doesn't work in the
Well,
way that they would hope it does. Because if it ever goes to trial, this is the way I see it, and this is why it's not your fault. If it ever goes to trial, how are they going to get that doctor to stand on trial
yeah,
when
and
that doctor does not have a license in this state? It doesn't make sense.
the other thing is as well is that they got discharged technically in before they were technically medically advised to by Dr. Nancy as well. So technically they were set to release like yesterday, and they were released the day before without a proper checkup. And that is also something that we have to deal with, unfortunately, and we're trying to think about like how can we make sure that maybe Nancy take notes and the local EMS take notes, and that at least then we can know what's going on.
Could we in theory install a system similar to the police front desk at the hospital?
I don't know what that system would be, I'm sorry to say.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry, that's my fault. So basically, when PD are not around, people can actually file police reports. So if I go on, so in my it's like, someone saw an officer recklessly driving, so they've reported it. Somebody has complained that their light is on. Somebody just wanted to deliver information to them. Another incident of like someone got stabbed, and they, because there was no officers on duty, they've been able to file the police report saying what it is. Unfortunately, they didn't leave their name. So yeah,
I mean,
but
what
it's stuff like
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What people can do is obviously we have our services line. Nancy can send in a little bit of like notes in there, and then people within our department are aware. That being said, though, it sounds like a really good system. I think our medical director is going to be a part of this meeting today, so that might be something that you could raise with them.
yeah, absolutely. If it helped you guys, I mean, it's more, I can see it being useful. I mean, I don't know what your MDT system looks like, but I imagine.
Technically, it's almost the same as PD as far as I'm aware, only we cannot see PD, and PD technically should not be able to see us. That being said, though, I do see that one of
I
the
can't see you.
officers. Yeah, I do see that one of the officers unfortunately put a record on that we can see, so I might have to raise that with the officer itself. But yeah, normally we cannot see other departments' reports technically, and that is another thing. Like we would like to, that is something that my that Jeff might ask as well. So we know that we have the rules for with like the subpoenas and stuff. Only it's been very confusing lately with being a non-compliant state. How is it going to work? And it almost feels like we have to, like all of us have to, like jump through 10 hoops in order to get somebody the paperwork and stuff like that. Now, I know.
No, that shouldn't be how it is. Wait, what? Oh my god.
I think Jeff can explain that a little bit better, but I do know that I did see the other email. Where is it? I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it.
No, you're fine.
So I know that Pickle. So I know that Pickles wanted some medical records. I think that is sorted now. I'm not 100% sure. But then Justice Strauss emailed us about the persons seeing their own medical records, but not giving us a name who it was. We have a suspicion who it is, but this is again probably a trainee that wasn't fully aware of the new
Fortunately,
SOPs.
I am completely out of the loop on that one to a degree. I think it was Hazel. I think.
So
But
Hazel.
I don't know who it was regarding. I don't know who the patient was at the time.
Bob Swanson.
Ah, yes. No, that checks out. Yeah, because that's going to trial soon. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is with that is that Hazley probably was thinking that everybody needs to get a subpoena for their medical records. However, I think we've already explained to her that if it's a person requesting their own medical documentation, they don't need to. They don't have to. We know that. We as command know that, and we've already tried to explain that to her.
Yeah, it seems like it's just a miscommunication error more than anything, but if any more issues come about of this, like, let me know, especially from my department, because I will deal with it myself. They should not be, they shouldn't be making you guys feel like you're doing something wrong if you're doing something right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of feels a little bit condescending the way the email was. I could be reading it wrong though, but again, the problem with this situation is that Hazel Lee did not communicate that with us, that was a requirement or that is something that they wanted to do. She is also on a month-long LOA since the 5th, and will be back around May 5th probably, unsure.
Yeah.
So we are also like discovering things that they have maybe set in motion that has not been communicated to us, and that is exactly what I was talking about earlier. The miscommunication or the lack of communication is something that we are working on. We are doing our best to communicate within the department as a whole, but this was something that was not communicated with us, and we only found out after the fact.
I also just found that email you were referring to. Yeah, he could have been... The problem is with Strauss, is he does not know how to be polite. I know what he's trying to say. I don't think he realizes how... What was that? I think somebody else might be here. I just heard, like, water or something. Oh, there we go. I heard
Jeff.
something crash. But yeah, I feel like he has issues with communicating effectively.
Yeah.
I will be asking him to maybe in future just be a bit more careful with his wording, because that does come across quite passive aggressive. I get the point he's trying to make. I just think he is we get asked many questions a day, most of which could be easily resolved by people just looking at their SOPs. Because even if you write the world's best SOPs, people will still ask you every question that is listed in said SOPs. So, which I'm sure you guys are gonna, you'll end up learning anyway. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's just like I said. Sorry, Jeff, I'm trying to explain the reasoning for like the medical records miscommunication between Strauss and some other people.
Oh, okay.
So I've already explained that's probably hastily, not knowing, even though we're trying to explain to her like, people can ask medical records for themselves. It doesn't matter. They don't need a subpoena for their own medical records. So I think it's more a little bit of an insecurity kind of thing.
Yeah, like I said as well. I genuinely think it's just a situation that's been blown out of proportion. And the way I'm looking at it, it got blown out of proportion by the DOJ side. Unfortunately, I wasn't present during this time, so I've had to take some weeks of work. I may have to do it again soon, which I really hope not, because if this keeps going like this, I'm gonna get very annoyed. Not like but not on your side. I mean, like on the fact that it seems like, yeah, you know what I mean. It's the fact that
I know
all that was asked is, can I have this paperwork? Person who wasn't very aware of the situation went, I don't know, I don't think so. And then it's turned into, oh my god, Sam's isn't letting us get our paperwork. And it's like, but they are. But they are. You've taken it way out of the situation, you know, that's not what happened. It was just that one person didn't know. I can file an announcement, just basically letting people know that there was a miscommunication error, and that it was not Sam's, it was just, well, I don't want to be like it was all Hazel, but I don't. But at the same time, I don't want people thinking that this was you guys trying to stop the, you know, pervert the court of justice, basically. When it wasn't. That's not what's happening at all. It was just a mistake, and it's been blown out of proportion from what it sounds like. I understand you guys are going through a lot right now. James just explained a lot to me regarding the whole fact that you guys don't have, well, you have incomplete SOPs. You're working on them. You're trying to run a hospital while trying to work on the SOPs at the same time. I know you and I have discussed death certificates and stuff at length at this point. I am working on something that I feel would be beneficial for both our departments. If you will wish for me to do it, this is completely optional. I'm not going to do it if you don't want me to. But basically, I'm going to work on, because I've been in Nova States where basically when, and this isn't just for the hospital, this is for everyone's certificates. When somebody is, when in Nova States I've been in, when someone dies, you can sort of pull out your phone, go onto a website and like put their details into like a specific website that they have made for their state that recognizes that that person has died, and basically gives you a sort of I guess the best way to describe it is gives you a certificate that you can then, you know, copy and push onto the paperwork, and it's a physical image kind of thing. I want to work on something like that anyway because I want to do it for marriages, divorces. Not that people love divorce certificates, but you know, it's there. Yeah, exactly. So divorce certificates, marriage certificates. It shouldn't be too hard. It's gonna be like, you know, I have the capacity to make something like that. If you are open to it, be willing to allow me to make a death certificate thing for you guys to use. That would probably make it a bit easier.
I already have one.
It does not have to.
Yeah, I'm start.
I will shut up.
You guys. So I'll address like some things that you've already brought up. Our SOPs. They are complete and implemented. Our medical board has approved them. So they are in place. The only things we are currently working on right now is treatment guides. So once we have our treatment guides, then we can actually start properly training people, because we don't want people to be hired on and then not having anything to fall back on in terms of treatments, and then increasing the risk of making mistakes. So we want people to be able to have those when there's no FTOs around, because I don't think it's fair that people can't clock on if there's not an FTO around. I've been in states where it's been like that, and it's a little bit shitty for people. In terms of the death certificates and DOAs and stuff, I am slowly getting through them.
I just said to Jane, there has been a lot of deaths from what I can see. So yeah, take your time, don't burn out, because there is I mean, I'm looking at it. I can't see how. So I can only see police reports in regards to DOAs. I can only see what the police have reported. I can't see what you yourself have reported, or what you who you have declared deceased. I have no access to those records currently. I think I should, but I just need to speak to maybe the medical board or something about getting access to that. I'm not going to be giving that information out at all. You know what I mean? It's just for my own monitoring purposes in case someone tries to sue a dead guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if I'm happy for us to be able to share death certificates at the very least as an official document.
I mean, it also helps with wills as well.
Yes. So we have an evidence tab in our MDT, which was pretty much like made redundant. It wasn't something that we were intending to use. But after speaking with our IT people, they've put in the options for us to upload photos as pieces of evidence, as well as add tags to them. So right now I'm using the evidence tab in our MDT to upload and store death certificates, so I can link them to DOA reports.
That sounds brilliant, actually. That's really, really, really smart.
Yeah.
Well done.
So the next step that I want to try and see if our IT department can get done is I've tried it. I'll try it again now whilst you're here, but I've tried it with PD and it didn't really work. Is if we add a certain tag, like a DOJ tag, for example, to a death certificate evidence report, it will make it visible for you or for whatever kind of rank that gets set on the tag. That way you'll have instant access to any death certificates that we make, and it's more automated, and it's not it doesn't have to be external, then it's just part of the MDT.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant, because then I can just archive the information, and then at least then we have the only people who have access to that is the court clerk and the justices. And the court clerk is under very strict understanding that all information in there is it's restricted, confidential. Like, she cannot release any of the information in there. It has to, it's all recognized under HIPAA as well, because it's, we're not doctors, but we still have to uphold the law and follow the law, as we are the ones who are the ones upholding said law. So therefore, it'd be a paradox if we destroyed our own beliefs. Like, it wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, the only people who would have access to it are the court clerk, myself, and the two justices. I did just apologize to Jane in regards to the way that Strauss worded his email to you. I've just read it. I understand the point he was trying to make. He should have been a lot more politer. I get that he's very much, how do I put this? He is a very impulsive individual, and he can be a little bit aggressive, which is kind of why he's a good justice, because he is able to basically be mean when we can't, or when we try not to be. But he should not be doing that to you. He shouldn't be doing that to other departments, end of. That's not, that's reserved for when someone makes a major mistake, not when it's a clear misunderstanding. It went too far. And I wish I had been around, because if I had been around to see that, I would have.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's not something that well, I don't think any of us took, to heart or,
Personal. Yeah.
like were petty about it.
Mhm.
But I think it was probably one of those things where, like, I appreciate them notifying us that
Yeah,
that happened,
that's
but without
yeah.
any actual concrete information to go off of who said it.
Oh.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Sorry.
She's fine.
Radio
Okay.
things
We don't
and
really,
stuff.
we
Oh, it's
can't
okay. I
really
do that all
deal
the time
with
too.
without actually like the crucial information that we need. We can't really deal with it internally, and because they didn't include that, it more or less came across as, okay, this is how it is.
Yeah,
Like,
to my
it
understanding, I
a little bit
think Jane is
lecturing
right.
in a way.
Yeah, I think Jane is right in the speculation that I believe it's regarding the Bob Swanson case. Because right now that is the only trial where, they've needed evidence regarding a person's specific, a person. Yeah, I definitely think it's Bob Swanson. There's no need for me to go
Yeah,
and
I
explain
think
in
I
full
think it
detail.
I think it was because we did get a subpoena from it from Pickles, and we gave them we gave them the medical document that was subpoenaed for it. So they have that now. Okay.
In terms of information like that, regarding ICE, how do you want to go about ICE and subpoena records? In case of emergency contacts. Are we saying that in case of emergency contacts can take... I'm asking you, because if you don't want this, I can say no. This is why I'm asking.
Okay.
In case of emergency contacts, do you want them to be able to take information and use it in court of law, or do you want to leave it?
Well, when it comes to emergency contacts, we're trying to refer to them as just emergency contacts or ECs, not ICE.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that would be.
Avoid that.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, let's get rid of that. I'm gonna throw that out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's not a big thing, but just something to think about. That's worth trying to take into consideration. But when it comes to things like that, in the past, I have come across patients where they don't necessarily want any of their ICE contacts to have access to the patient's medical documents. But instead it's been like medical advocates, so it's been like a family member or someone they like really, really trust.
Yeah, I mean the other thing as well is the way I can see it, is realistically, if we're talking about it, if somebody is trying to sue someone regarding, like, let's say, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw out some names here. Colin gets stabbed by Rachel, right? Random people, they don't exist. But Colin gets stabbed by Rachel. He goes to hospital. He doesn't want to file charges, but his brother does. That's up to him. That's his consent. If he doesn't want to press charges, that's fine. If you know what I mean. So I don't see why, realistically thinking about it, they really shouldn't have access to the records anyway, because it's like, I get that, you know what I mean? There's a familial bond there, but if the person doesn't want to do it, they don't have to do it. And let's say that Colin does die as a result of the injuries, then police can subpoena that information regardless, and because it would become a police matter at that point, and not a familial. It's not a civil suit then, it's a criminal. So I don't see why we should. I'm just wanting to clear that to make sure that we're about.
Yeah, it would also present an issue, like a moral issue, well, moral/legal issue for us as well, if that person requesting those records is Rachel and they're on these emergency contacts.
Well, exactly. I mean,
because,
that's...
just because someone's a family member doesn't make them exempt from, like, stabbing them or attacking them or whatever.
Oh, exactly.
So...
And it's like, I need to make some adjustments to the will, because I don't... Actually, I'm not entirely sure if I have added this, but I need to double check that in the standards of practice for the DOJ, because they're getting overhauled. They get overhauled every 3 months. I'm gonna be making a rule about the Slayer rule, which I'm sure you're already aware of, but basically if you kill someone, you cannot inherit their property. but I am scared that people in this state do not understand what that means.
Right.
Not that anyone has
Okay.
killed anyone for their wills, but there is always a possibility.
There's also, you know, the loophole of them trying to get someone else to kill them for their property, which
That
is a
is
whole
true.
other
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
So it still goes into Slayer rule where you cause the death, therefore you don't get the inheritance.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be interesting to see someone contest it if they accidentally kill somebody.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, I'm a big fan of courtrooms. I don't know if you can tell.
Oh yeah, I can tell. I think that's why you're the best person to be the Chief Justice. You know, like
I
we're
appreciate
all
it. You're making me
in the
blush.
position. we're all in the positions that we're in because you know we're very knowledgeable about things and we're most of all passionate about them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the major thing. That's what really should matter here, and it's why I'm trying to make sure that the DOJ does not struggle again. Because it for like the first month it was great, then it went a bit rocky, then it's come back to normal. Well, now it's thriving, which is crazy.
Okay.
It's just trying to make sure everybody is doing the right things and also making sure you guys are not getting, you know, I don't want my attorneys pestering you or making your job harder than they need to be because they don't understand something or they've misinterpreted something, or so I would like to try and maybe if you guys have any legal things that you want to specify that, you know, if we have to do any cross department stuff, I can specify it in my SOPs, just basically explaining like, hey, when dealing with SAMs, be respectful, obviously. They're supposed to be anyway, it's in their standards of practice to be respectful to all departments. But I'm gonna be pushing that, you know, we have an entire section on law enforcement and how they're supposed to behave with law enforcement. And I'm gonna push the same thing with SAMs. You know, when you're dealing with SAMs, you be respectful. Do not linger around the hospital to chase ambulances, that kind of thing. Like, I hate ambulance chasing attorneys. They annoy me.
Yeah. So, in terms of the reason why I call for this meeting, I don't think anyone else has. No one else has turned up, have they? Let me just check the office.
No, I think it's just us.
Maybe Herman might have woken up late, but
Maybe he had the same. Wait, hang on a minute. Is that? Hang on, I can't. Sir, are you waiting for someone?
You're there, fella.
He's acting odd, and I can't tell if he's, you know, like us or not. He walked around earlier, and then I saw him sit up and stand, and then I saw him sit up again, sit down again.
I think it's a local fella. Like they come and.
Yeah, sometimes they get really weird.
might just be
Like,
enjoying
never
the
tell
sun.
if
We can just go over to the office and you know that way they might not be in earshot, so to speak.
Yeah.
The guy in there is just our.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry, when I was in the police department in another state, I once had a local actually rob a store and realized it was a person, and since then I've always been uneasy around certain locals.
Yeah, makes sense.
I get super suspicious of them. Oh gosh, I'm climbing on furniture. Sorry.
No, you're good.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, the reason why we called for the meeting was mostly because we well, both us and PD have been having an issue in regards to medical records having to be subpoenaed for investigative purposes.
Right. Wait, are PD subpoenaing you guys for information?
So PD, we got told from Logan Kane, who we know isn't with you anymore, but also I think it was they were with Emma as well, Emmeline, I think.
Okay, that's both of them.
Yeah, both of them told us that this is well. First, we told them how we currently operate when it comes to when it came to you know, the forwarding of documents and chain of custody of documents and stuff like that, and how we go about things when it comes to PD requesting things from us. And they said, let us get back to you to see what kind of, you know, legal standing has to do with it, in case, you know, just to make sure like no HIPAA violations have been broken and stuff like that. So they eventually came back to us, both together, and they stated that.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard. We're up at Harmony in this meeting, Herman. You're free to come join us.
Oh, good, I like Herman.
Yeah, see, I had a feeling. Overslept.
So they came back to us and told us that this was a non-compliance state.
Non-compliant? What?
Yeah, and they went on to explain that that basically means when it comes to PD requesting documents for us for investigative purposes, that the only information we should be given is the name of the patient, their injuries, and their status. So, you know, whether they're critical, whether in the ICU, whether, you know, they're just in recovery, or whether they can just, you know, leave. And that if I don't know, if PD does actually need a copy of like the medical report or the relevant documents associated with a patient, they have to go to the DOJ and request a subpoena for it.
Yes, unless it's their own medical record. So if it's an officer, then absolutely the district attorney office has the right to ask for that information and receive it, because they are asking on behalf of a government employee. But it depends on what entirely are they, like, what information are they seeking? Are they seeking a random, I mean, okay, if the person's DOA, then absolutely they can ask for, well, subpoena for that information. Actually, would it be easier for them to ask? Because, I mean, if it's a DOA under mysterious circumstances, I feel like it should be allowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's mostly because we, like, most of what we are used to doing as a procedure in the medical field is, if PD ask for a medical document for investigation purposes, so whether it's one of their 95s that they need the document for to you know, just in case they need to justify, you know, taking them down, or, you know, placing them in custody or something like that, whether it's a victim of a crime, whether it's, you know, one of their own officers that's been injured whilst on duty. Whenever they've requested the medical report for situations like that, we've just handed it over to them, forwarded it to them. That's kind of what we were told to do when we got hired on, so it's what we've kind of like carried forward. And then when we explained that to Logan and Emmeline, that's when they said, okay, hang fire, let us, you know, look into it and we'll get back to you. And that's what they told us.
Yeah, I was never made aware of any of this, so thank you for bringing it to my attention first and foremost. I don't know who they spoke to. I'm assuming it must have been Taylor. I really hope it wasn't Strauss, because Strauss is not my second in command.
Right.
Yeah, Taylor is my currently I don't have a second in command, but Taylor is respectively that. He will be made my deputy chief once we have another justice, and it makes sense. Otherwise, it just feels like it's us teaming up on Strauss. I'm gonna be honest. Logan Kane was fired for a multitude of reasons. Multitude. It's from complaints against from PD to civil to just non-stop complaints from criminals as well. Like, it was really bad. I did not realize the extent of how serious some of the complaints were until I got back. I was back for 4 hours when I returned, and I received 12 complaints.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's
there's-
from
I mean, you don't have to
different people too. Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
have
no,
to
I know what you mean.
disclose, obviously, but
Yeah, but
don't
a
think-
lot of it was really bad. A lot of it was really bad, so that's why
Okay.
I'm like,
I do believe that a lot of it is to do with someone else that was pretending to be him.
yeah,
no,
that as well. I was
no,
Okay.
no. A lot of this was most of it was direct from PD. Some of it regarding criminals he owned up to himself.
okay.
But he has been permanent. He was he was under investigation. He decided to resign, but in turn he has been resigned entirely from DOJ. And he has been disbarred until further notice unless he can change his attitude. But given the email he sent to me directly, I do not feel comfortable bringing him back in to the DOJ based upon the wording of his email and what I believe to be a threat. Because it
Okay.
sounded very much like a threat towards not myself, but other people within the DOJ he was unhappy with. So I'm not comfortable having him remain on the DOJ. I don't really know exactly what he was referring to when he mentioned the non-compliant state. I think I understand, but I want to know who they got that information from.
It's both
Um,
Logan and Emmeline that brought it to our attention
Yeah,
as well. So
Yeah,
I
it's
need to
both of
speak with
them,
Emmeline
yeah.
as well. I will have to speak to Emmeline as well, and just basically, she will be a lot more easier for me to communicate with, directly. I have a feeling it was probably they spoke to Taylor. Taylor said, let me take a look. Do you know what day this?
Let me see if I've got any notes anywhere.
Sorry, if not, that's fine.
No, you don't have to.
Um,
This is good.
when Emmeline kind of confirmed it, wasn't that the day that we had a meeting with Hazelwood and Arabella and Emmeline there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what day it was.
Sorry, yes, that was another thing. We had a meeting with Hazelwood regarding their kidnapping at the time. They had Arabella and Emmeline there as representatives. They wanted to have Rosie there as well, but she wasn't able to
Why
make it.
does it need to be? Why does it need to be free attorneys?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know because the email I sent to them asking them to come in so we could talk was I even put this is nothing to do with any sort of disciplinary. We just want to know that you're okay, what happened, and what legally we need to protect ourselves with to go to the PD with if we need to.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
like that went a bit overboard though. That feels a
Yeah.
little. Free attorneys in a room seems over the top. I wouldn't allow that in a court. I wouldn't allow that in a cell trial, let alone. Like, I would never allow free prosecutors to go up against one person. That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Yeah,
in
to say that
regards
they
to
brought
the
these people.
Go on.
in
to say
regards
that-
to that,
oh,
they did. Sorry, they did mention something during the meeting that has raised some concerns to both, well, all of us. That I think we are still investigating. That being said, like I already mentioned to you, they are on a long-extending LOA. So we also don't really fully know how to go from there with that. So we would have to see. I don't know. I don't know if Jeff or Herman, have you talked to PD about that second situation yet?
No, to be honest, every time I've been around, there's been no PD at all.
Okay. So that there's
has
still
been a
some
recurring thing for me too. I almost got kidnapped the other day by a helicopter. It was not fun. So, and there was only one officer on duty, and a cargo bob was chasing me and my car, and screaming, "Come back, Barbara! I'm going to get you!" And that was very
What the-
terrifying when there's only one officer and he's having to fire at it. Yeah, while you're being chased. I mean,
Hey.
luckily, luckily he flew too low to the ground, and I just decided to ram him into a wall. But you know.
still a cargo bomb. Okay, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I think the situation has been resolved. I'm hoping the situation has been resolved. I know they made an arrest.
Okay.
I know who it was. But
But still, yeah, that's
hopefully
scary.
they don't do that again, because apparently they weren't really after me as much as they wanted my car. They saw my car and went, "Ooh, shiny," and basically were like, "I'll
Well,
take that," while I was still in it.
Yeah, everyone knows you're not in a car, you're in a glove box.
Yeah, what is? I don't know what that
That's
is
true.
about, to be fair.
That
I
is,
hear people say it.
regarding the fake cane that was going around. Apparently, they were
Oh,
shouting.
Every
Have
time he
you
got
seen
pulled over by
Barbara?"
PD, yeah, he was like, Barbara, you in the glove box, Barbara. And it was just like, for over about an hour and a half, he was just going around on a megaphone shouting that.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
And also saying, I am Logan Kane, I promote crime, do crime. Which was a bit weird.
Considering the actual complaints I've had and the confessions I have received from Kane, honestly, that guy was doing pretty innocent stuff compared.
I
It's
do
not been pretty.
have information on Logan because he'd come and speak to me a lot. And a lot of stuff, which I have overheard from gangs as well.
Oh yes, I had.
They have gone out their
Vargos,
way
the
to
serpents?
harass him
Yeah.
a lot. Like at one point, he had like
Oh.
3 gangs constantly harassing him for the fun
Oh,
of it,
God.
and there was no actual need or reason to it. And
Yeah.
he was just constantly getting shot at or stabbed or chased, and it was getting
Right.
too much for him.
Yeah, I mean, I've had reports though where he has ran over someone repeatedly with his car because he thought they were having fun. So he repeatedly ran them over, and then the person has had to steal their car and take that person to the hospital. And then he's like, when they returned the car, he's got back in the car and then ran over their vehicles over and over again. While and then when they said, like, this is I could call the police, he's been like, no, please don't report me, over and over again. So there's a lot. I'm not saying that he's completely guilty of everything that's been put forward, but I'm not saying that he's completely innocent. And considering
Yeah,
I've
two
also
sides
had
to each story.
considering I've had 12 written statements from 12 different individuals of different backgrounds, from police to civilian, to criminal even, all stating that he has been hyper aggressive.
I would suggest probably throwing out any complaints from the Vargos and the Serpents.
Oh,
And-
that
and
was only
also,
one of the complaints.
one or two. Okay, so he has been actively naughty.
Yeah, no, there were other people, other individuals he has committed acts against, who have reported him. But
fair.
they have not wanted to report him directly to the police because he has basically encouraged them not to, based on the grounds that he didn't want to lose his job. But I mean, if you don't want to lose your job doing crime, don't do crime. It's kind of obvious. So it's one of those issues, but I understand where you're coming from. I did take a lot of it with a pinch of salt. I was giving him a chance to fight the allegations. We were going to allow him to basically come in, challenge every single one individually, even give him the names of the people who made the claims against him. And he completely shut down on it and was like, I'm not doing that. So that's why we've just decided to not go further with it, and then he resigned.
I will say, Logan Kane, yeah, he may have done naughty things, but he is, out of all the DOJ, he's my lead concern behavior-wise. There is one other one that really got me concerned. I remember telling you two about it.
Who's that?
What's he called? I don't know. You know the name of it.
Are you gonna say Dax Nicholas? Because Dax Nicholas is no longer.
I think it was Strauss.
Yeah, he was very mean to me in
Yeah.
Vibe, but also he kept bragging to everyone about killing 74 people, and I was like, what? And then he was like,
I'll be having words.
Yeah, he was like, I killed 74 people attacking my village. I own a village. And I asked him, like, oh, can I own a street if I buy all the houses on a street?
Is he
And he was
playing?
like,
Is he
"No."
playing a fucking? It sounds like he's playing Clash of Kings or whatever.
Sounds more like Monopoly.
That sounds like he's playing a mobile game.
Well, he made it very clear that it was him because he said like, "Oh, I used to live in this country and we were getting attacked and I killed all these people," which
I'm gonna be
Hmm.
I
honest. I
get it.
think he's having. I'll be honest. Considering a conversation I had with him the other day, I may ask him to take a LOA soon, just because some of the things he has come out with are slightly concerning to me, and I don't know if he's burnt out or if he's just kind of like going all over the place.
Hmm.
I also see that he approved a subpoena that I would.
He approved a subpoena that you. What?
Essentially looking at the tablet.
Oh.
I do it all the time.
Sorry, I didn't realize when I look at subpoenas I can't really talk. I didn't realize I covered my mouth the whole time. When he's approved a subpoena, but I can't seem to find the additional information attached to it, so I don't understand what exactly he's approved, and he hasn't handed in the information that he's supposed to like turn in when the subpoena is approved. So I don't understand what exactly the premise is here that I will need
Okay.
to review with him. So, yeah, subpoenas are a bit wonky as well at the minute. I don't know how. I don't think you guys have to. I mean, you do have to deal with subpoenas, but I don't think you have to file any subpoenas because I can't imagine why you would need to. I mean, if you ever think of a reason why, please let me know because I would really love to, just for my own
Yeah,
personal
it's-
information in future. But I don't think you guys
Yeah.
would ever need it unless it's in regards to like your own, you know, one of your owns.
Well,
It's more of like I explained before, like PD requesting going to the DOJ and requesting a subpoena for a medical document that we would otherwise just send to them anyway if they requested it. So I think it's one of those cases if whether or not that's legal to do so or not, and if we could
Mhm.
kind of streamline that a little bit more because
Do you
if
have
they
a hospital lawyer at all? Because I know you can use the
So-
DA's office if you wish, but if you want to hire your own private lawyer, you can.
we were under the assumption that it was Logan and Emma, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
basically what they
they-
told
they-
us.
It's the
claimed that.
district. It's the district attorney office by default. But if you guys wish to
Okay.
have your own lawyer, you are allowed to. You do not
Hmm.
need to rely on the district attorney office.
Question.
That it is supposed to be like district attorney office, but if you guys choose to go another way, you can. What's up?
Sebastian's a lawyer, right?
Oh God. Hang off on that, or maybe
Hmm.
like, yeah. He is, but he is under a lot of surveillance right now. The police are not comfortable with the fact that he passed the bar exam, despite the fact that it is completely legal and within reason. And also, it kind of screws up someone else if we drop him, because obviously the state believes in the rehabilitation program, not for serial killers. But yeah, in regards to rehabilitation, there's like, you know, I mean, Dax Nicholas, he was, yeah, he's committed a crime as a paralegal, therefore he lost his job. Well, he lost his bar. Well, paralegal status. He never had a bar to begin with. But anyway, and then you obviously have we have a person called Mickey who is currently he wants to apply, but he has to be clean for a certain period of time. If he remains clean for a certain period of time, he's allowed to pass the bar. He can take the bar. We're a bit more lenient in regards to who can be hired into the DOJ, but it's more of a you must keep your hands clean. Sebastian, yes, we know he is a criminal crime boss, or at least he's an ex-criminal crime boss. To our understanding, he's an ex-criminal crime boss because there's no evidence he's still doing it. Which, you know, unfortunately, if there's no evidence, we can't do anything. That is basically the whole process of the law.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah.
there's no evidence on a lot of people, whether it be, you know, the PD's MDT being wiped, whether they've come over from another state and no one knows who they are. You know, it's It's
Mhm.
always like a risk.
And somebody said to me, like, oh, well, if you do a deep dive onto Sebastian, and I was like, I understand where you're coming from. I do, truly. But if we did that, that would mean we would have to do that for every single employee ever.
Yeah.
And that would be, that could get really problematic real quick. And then what are we, certain laws get changed over time. Certain things go from being infractions to misdemeanors and vice versa. Sometimes misdemeanor becomes an infraction. Are we supposed to remove someone's job based on the fact that they have a misdemeanor that was once an infraction? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like there becomes a point where we start to punish people for things that really are outside of their control and ours, especially when they're trying to fix themselves.
Should just make everything a felony.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah,
Oh.
jaywalking, felony. Boom.
Terrorism, done.
Oh my god.
Terrorism is a felony. That is a major
Well,
felony.
no, because they walking leads to jaywalking
Oh,
leads
right,
to terrorism.
yes,
thing.
that's... Oh my god, I haven't heard that in
Oh,
ages.
gateway
God, that's
crime is
great. Yeah, gateway
Okay.
crime. That's my favorite one.
You
but
sneeze
yeah.
towards someone, felony.
Oh yeah, that's
Bioweapon.
biowarfare. Yeah, biowarfare.
You look at the wrong fraction.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm
But
going
yeah.
to ask a very hypothetical question now.
I'm excited. Go ahead.
Okay, if somebody was to not necessarily work at a government department per se, but they want to work at a government department, regardless if it's DOJ, SAMS, or PD, but they are kind of under investigation, like fully under investigation, like they haven't been charged yet. How would like somebody make a decision that if there is like witness statements, there is an investigation going on, there is something going on that is technically not allowed according to
In the
law?
DOJ department, we tell them that we have to wait until the investigation has concluded.
Mhm.
And then once the investigation is concluded, depending on the outcome, that basically answers the question. We did it where we do it as well with disciplinary hearings against people who have criminal records.
Mhm.
So whenever a attorney obtains a felony, it basically goes into they go into suspension until that's concluded. There is a time period on that though, so like if after a month nothing happens, then they just go straight to the disciplinary hearing, and then depending on like how they've behaved over the last how they've behaved, how they've acted, blah blah blah, that depends on whether or not they get their bra back or not. Most of the time they get their bra back. So I mean, because usually they get found innocent, but but yeah, we've had a few weird instances.
Yeah,
It's more of a departmental policy rather than legislation.
Yeah. Yeah, we basically just push that, let everything let it go to court, go for the appropriate channels, let everything go as it's meant to, and then dependent on the outcome, that depends on how we act later.
Okay. Yeah, so again, this is not related to any situation, but basically it's up to the departments to make that decision, but
Oh, 100%. That's just what it's like in the DOJ. In the DOJ, we just nip it in the bud.
no, but I meant more like, I wasn't meaning for Sebastian, I didn't know about any of that, but I meant it more like us as a department, or like the department leads, for lack of better terms, can make a decision on either like suspending somebody until the investigation is done,
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, it's just like technically we shouldn't then be like directed to I don't know, a court case or any of that.
No, you don't like the only. It depends on what you want to do. If you think that someone, let's say they're under investigation for a store robbery, right? Something minor, it's minor, but it's still an offense. You know what I mean? And for some people, that's a breaker. Like for police, that would be an obvious breaker. For DOJ, that could be questionable. We would have a conversation as to why they robbed the store. Was it an accident? Because I have accidentally touched the cashier register before without meaning to, and started to rob it and then realized what I've done. Yeah, so it's one of those. Like, is it just a wrong time, wrong place thing? Is it genuinely like, you know, it's one of those. So we allow people to at least try and explain themselves before we go straight to punishing.
Mhm.
We have a whole section in our SOPs about how disciplinary hearings act, how you should report different people from different departments, who to, that kind of thing. So yeah.
But also in the case of like, let's take like a very bad one, any form of like stabbing, shooting, injuring somebody.
Suspension
Like a violent
immediately.
Yeah, violent crime. Yeah,
Yeah.
harmful towards people, animals, anything like that.
Yes.
And they
Yeah,
are still under investigation, but they haven't fully, like, they have like given information, but it's still under investigation. Then we still have the right to suspend somebody until that's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so the way our paperwork works, we have different systems in place, including warnings. When it comes to that, it is basically just down to whether you feel comfortable of suspending them, or you can just say, you know, I mean, if they're just applying for the job, you can simply say to them, until this is resolved, we can't really go further.
Mhm.
And that means that either the case is dropped or it goes to trial. But I mean, I feel like eventually PD has to make a decision. You can always say to police, you know, are you going to close this? Is it still open? You know, and then dependent on whether they say yes or no, but also that might light a fire under their ass to get said case closed, and therefore release that person from that investigation. So it's a good thing in a way.
But then, in that kind of sense, would we then have to ask a subpoena to request information about that?
I mean, you could always speak to the DA. This is why I'm thinking it might be good to maybe get. I need to see about potentially getting you guys like a specific lawyer for medical purposes, or at least maybe even one in the DAO who actually can work with you guys, more personally, and help you. I think it would be good for you to have a lawyer on retainer to a degree. You know what I mean? They wouldn't actually be if it's in the DAO. They wouldn't actually be on retainer because they're meant to work for you anyway. But then they can sort of help you with what information you need without having to. Or if they do need to file a subpoena for information, they can subpoena me directly, and then they can request the subpoena with me directly. Let me know it's on the behalf of SAMS, and it'll most likely get approved because I know you guys are using it for real important information, not just, as long as it's within reason.
Or even just as a legal advisor as well.
Well, exactly. It's always good to have.
Most importantly, someone who can be around the same time as we're around as well, because I think that's also been quite difficult to schedule stuff.
Yeah. Is there anyone specific in the DOJ currently? Don't say Sebastian Blackwood.
So remind me.
Sebastian is pretty good.
So remind me the difference between a DA and a DAO.
They're practically the same thing. DAO is the actual office. District attorney is like the head of that department, but a lot of it's so basically you have the district attorney and then the prosecutors, and sometimes the legal advisors, like Evelyn. But you also have it just seems weird to me to call one a prosecutor and one a district attorney, but officially I just called them all DAs, but there is one DA and the rest are all prosecutors. It's just like a step above the rest, that's all. It's just that person is like in charge of the department. So currently the district attorney is Edward Knotts.
Okay. It's hard for us.
The only one we've actually met is Emmeline, but I think if you could, give it some time to have a discussion about it, and we can get back to you on it. Perhaps.
Yeah, that's fine. Just looking at the current paperwork, I just had to remove somebody because they're not in there anymore. Currently it stands technically Jessica Ashbrook, but not really because she's the PD liaison. She's not actually part of the district attorney office anymore. She's just there to basically co-op, like, communicate. So don't I would not go
Okay.
to her, but she is technically part of that office.
Mhm.
Evelyn Maestri is obviously on there. She's a prosecutor, officially. Damon Irons is also, but he's more down under minded. And then obviously Edward Knox. And then I do need to go over this paperwork real quick because one of these names is not correct. But you can also pick from like the other list of like Kenny Little, Colby Jack, Giovanni DeLucci, Arabella Pierce, not Dax Nicholas, he's fired. Chase Shield, Rosie O'Shea, Lena Varkosha, Lexi Pickles Davis, which I mean that might be a good option for you guys because I feel like you're aware of her. You know, I know she used to work
Yeah.
with us. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sebastian Blackwood as well.
Yeah, we've I mean, Pickles used to work for us as well, so we're familiar with them and we have a good rapport with them. So yeah, maybe that's a good option.
Yeah, it might be a good option just because, like you said, there similar times you don't have to rely on the DA office that way. You know, that's entirely up to you. But that would make her officially a medical attorney as well. She'd be specially
That's also
Yeah,
if
and I
she
think
wants
we would
that.
probably have to. Yeah, we'll probably have to.
It's
have a
entirely
discussion
up to
with
her.
them as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
you can just state to her that you would like to put her on retainer, and then I see where it goes from there. I mean, she
Okay.
I can't imagine she'd be against it, to be honest. Although she does seem to love our basement in the courthouse.
I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with our motor pool or our morgue.
I could see her sleeping in the morgue. She sleeps in our in the jail cells underneath the courthouse.
Well, the
funny.
morgues are locked, so that would be the only thing, but...
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, in theory, we could always seek about getting her access. I mean, if you guys are comfortable with it. I mean, obviously, it will be depending on how well it works. We go for like a month with it, and then if
Yeah.
after a month you guys are comfortable with it, we can always see about getting her key fob updated to let her into like an office maybe somewhere where she can work. If that is what you are comfortable with, I don't want to push that on you or make you do that. You know what I mean? It's just like if it works out well, we can do that. And I can always add that I can update the roster to say that she is officially recognized as, if she agrees to it, she's officially recognized as Sam's.
Yeah, we can have a discussion internally, and you know, if we come to an agreement that they're a good match for us, then yeah, we can have a meeting with them to discuss it and go from there. But yeah,
absolutely.
That sounds good.
Yeah, besides, I know that the district attorney office is really, it's really busy. They are super busy with tons of stuff, so it might work better if they get that released from them.
Yeah. As well, if we eventually end up getting some construction done on the hospital, they could have their own office as well.
Me first though.
Okay.
Not in your
Alright.
not in your hospital. I mean in I need a new courthouse. I really want to.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. People keep blowing up my stuff. But
We
yeah.
want nice
so-
things.
Just because Emma wasn't here earlier, we did get the email from addressed from, was it? I think it was Strauss, right?
Yeah. Well, I spoke about Pickles first and then Strauss reacting to it, so...
Yes. So that's Sabina's situation. We've got that.
Like I said, that should not have gone the way it did. That it was completely unnecessary, and I think it was blown out of proportion. The way that it was just quite literally a minor mistake, is what I said. It's clearly a miscommunication between Hazel and the attorney, and then it just got way too, it got made into a far bigger deal. when it really could have just been a 5-second conversation. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate the way he worded his email. He definitely could have worked on that a bit better, but I understand what he was trying to say. But he
Yeah,
definitely could
that's-
have
that's
been
why I
a lot
didn't-
more polite, but yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't send an email back saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be talking to us like this," because I'm not going to be petty like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, I get you.
I also made Barbara aware of the Dr. Blankenship email as well. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't agree with that.
it's
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
no, they're not in our
Yeah.
roster. They are not like they release Seraphina technically against like medical advice because again they should have been released yesterday if they had a checkup.
I mean, if someone wants to be discharged from the ICU, they can absolutely, discharge themselves through Nancy if they,
Yeah, but
Well, I was
calling in a
hoping
doctor
the-
from outside is a little bit weird.
Yeah,
So-
that's and like I said to Jane, if this should ever go to court, like hypothetically speaking, if something ever goes to court and an attorney files for paperwork that wasn't written because it was done by an out-of-state doctor,
Yeah,
that's not fair because then you get punished for something that is the
We had
fault
no
of
control
the
over.
yeah,
patient
like
through-
where
yeah,
does
yeah.
the responsibility lie in that is with us?
Exactly.
We not take this out of state doctor to court.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
theory, yeah.
We could,
It's-
but that's going to be difficult to deal with when they can actually
Yeah.
travel into the state.
I mean, it would be absolutely thrown out of court before it even hits. Yeah, I would dismiss that case immediately because it's clearly, I mean, we don't actually know if that doctor is even licensed.
Exactly.
It could be entirely medical,
Yeah, and that's
So-
why I wanted
The only local doctor that's licensed with us is Dr. Nancy, and that's about it.
Yeah. What I
Um,
did suggest, I know you probably don't have access to this. I mean, obviously, yeah. MRPD has a front desk that you can actually file police reports on.
Okay.
So basically people can file witness statements, something that they've seen, so if PD aren't around, they can actually still let PD know what happened so that when an officer wakes up and comes on duty, they can actually take over and basically go, okay, so this happened, let me see if I can do an investigation on it.
Okay.
I was thinking about asking the medical board if we could do something similar. If you are comfortable with this, obviously, all three of you, if you're comfortable with this, potentially opening something like that for medical patients. So if there is a situation like that, they can basically get Nancy to leave a message with you at the front desk. It can be detailed. It could be as many characters as they want, where it basically says I fell down the mountain on my bicycle and I fell off and I broke my arm. You know what I mean?
I did
I
say.
mean, it's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, I did
if
mention
we
as
could have
well
it.
to maybe bring that
Yeah.
up with our medical board. I thought
Yeah,
she
we-
was going
we
to be
can
here,
have a
but I
discussion
might have
about
been
it.
mistaken.
So I left it open for them to be here or not. Be
Oh,
here,
okay, I
but
wasn't
it's
fully aware of that. Sorry.
guaranteed. Yeah, that's why I CC'd them into the email and said they may show up if they wanted. But I think having something like that would be good.
Yeah.
But we don't want it to be overused. It might be very useful to have something like that in our ICU. So if someone needs
Yeah, that's
to
probably
be
a good
discharged
idea.
from the ICU, they can let us know. What we
I know
were- what. Sorry, go on.
Just
Yeah.
gonna go put my
So I was gonna
vehicle
say,
away.
I
Okay.
know the alternative is that they can use, they can always get Nancy to text the services app.
Yeah,
To basically, I know that is the alternative. But I was thinking more for cases of fell down the stairs, broke my arm. Could probably do with
Yeah.
looking at, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, if the patient wants a report written up, and added to their medical record. Like they can do something like that. If they need to be admitted into the ICU and there's no one else around, that's something,
there's-
you know, if PD is around, PD can do that. If there's no one else around, then, you know, just so we're aware and we're not waking up to an ICU patient being in a room that we don't even know has been admitted. Because that's happened before.
Oh dear.
But yeah, we can have a discussion about that and pass on to the medical board. I appreciate like bringing that up as an idea because I think it is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it might be good to just trial it and then see, it, you know, if it works well. Keep it. If it goes wrong immediately, we just throw it out.
Yeah. Ideally, as we start hiring more people, though, like, hopefully people don't feel compelled to do that.
I
Oh,
have
yeah.
been around
Good.
3 times for people to come in and speak to me, but no one ever turned up, and they sent me an email apologizing. But we should have more stuff soon.
We're working on that, yeah. I explained that to you already, Barbara, that we're working on at least getting people hired on the EMS side. But
and it makes sense considering everything that you've told me. I understand why,
I basically gave Barbara the rundown of what happened recently and confirmed that we are now technically highest in command, but we do have the medical board, obviously, as well.
Doing meetings till 4 a.m.
Yeah, doing meetings until 4 or 5 a.m., yeah.
But we're on the right track.
Yes.
We are on the right track, I
4
believe.
a.m. seems a bit excessive. That's not.
That is what has happened recently, like multiple times. But that is also
2 or 3 3-hour-long meetings in a day, and then very, very late night meeting.
And it's also
we're dedicated to it. And
we are, yeah.
We want to see the department succeed and in a way that everyone's happy with as well.
Yeah, it's just that we had some people from different departments come and like kind of drag our attention away in multiple ways, and that's a little bit annoying, but we only ask for like respect for our time and respect for what we are trying to do. That's basically it.
Gonna sit down.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm probably gonna release an announcement just basically telling people to be a bit more respectful when dealing with SAMs at the minute, and just explaining that you guys are dealing with some stuff. You know, but I mean, either way, they shouldn't be treating you guys disrespectfully anyway. But you know what I mean. Just to be a bit more patient than they usually would at this time while you guys deal with things, and then
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I said, it's very clear to me that you're doing the best you can with what you have, and even then, people are asking for miracles sometimes, and it needs to just,
Yeah, there was one on.
Like, I was very slightly aggressive, but I was like, no, you stay away.
Yeah, hopefully soon TM well, that's the thing as well. I think, I don't know if I actually said it, like once the treatment guys are like done, there's only going to be like maybe small changes sometimes that we can like adjust, but most of it will be done, and then we don't have to like, you know, put so much time and effort into it to get it done. That will save us a lot of time too.
Oh yeah.
Because if I have to describe it, oh sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, just while Herman comes back, Barbara, do you have an evidence tab on your MDT?
I do. Oh, hang on. It probably would work better if I was clocked on GT. There we go. Let me try clocking on GT. And now, if I don't know if I'll go quiet. I shouldn't, but no. Okay, it's only when I look at subpoenas apparently that I stop talking. Yeah. I think I can only see police reports. I don't think I can see Sam's.
Okay. Like, just to confirm that for me, can you see evidence report number 26?
Number 20. Oh, hang on.
I'll be able to type the number in.
No. No.
Okay.
I can see 25
I
and
can-
27, but not 26. So I can see
Okay.
everything around it. Yeah.
Alright, I'll reach out to our IT people and try get that fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I made a tag on our MDT, with it just says DOJ, and I could, I've pretty much added the minimum grade on our side, for our ranks, and then I've added, DOJ, is it CRC clerk?
Yes, that
Um,
would be Hadley.
Yeah, DOJ Justice and DOJ Chief Court Justice.
Okay, great. Yeah, because that works really well because then we can just monitor things. Like I said, I need to write SOPs for the court clerk, but basically I can just clarify with her that obviously that information's. I can do that directly. Just explain to her that information must be treated as extremely confidential. It's HIPAA violation, etc. Basically the only time that she can deal with that information is if like somebody's trying to, you know, sue someone
Okay.
who's deceased or something. They can dismiss cases before they even go.
Okay. Yeah. So, just like, I mean, it doesn't really matter if like whether it's or not, but the evidence report that I've added that tag to is Tyson's death certificate.
Right, got it.
I have found, I've come to find an issue recently with that kind of situation on our end. I don't know whether it's the same for the DOJ or PD on their MDTs. But when I go to the link at the DOA report for them and go to civilians, it still says their name. But if I click on their name, it takes it to a different person's profile.
Right, let me take a look at this and see if. Oh, wait a minute. I have a horrible feeling I know what you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I think I yeah.
Ah.
So
I
that report,
need
that
to speak
DOA
with the
report on our
medical
system.
board.
Yeah, the DOA report on our system has a command tag to it, so no one else except command can actually see the DOA report for
Okay.
Tyson right now.
Yeah.
Because
Shit.
I wanted to do a little bit of damage control on it before, you know, if in case it becomes a bigger issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to make you aware.
Yeah, I may need to speak to the government about that, because that's
Yeah.
not good.
It's a bit of a risk.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know if that's the same on, you know, PD's MDT or yours, but yeah, if
I'm
it's
trying
if it's-
to recreate it, but I can't seem to find any. I think he.
I think the change of ID thing. It's any kind of like reports that they were previously linked to is still kind of like linked, because on our system, like Tyson actually doesn't exist in the profiles tab anymore.
Yeah.
So
Damn. Okay.
it might be a case of speaking to the government and getting
Yeah.
their profile re-added to the system, and then
Yeah.
we can like relink it.
I'm gonna reach out to the government about that, and see if they can help, and just see if they can fix that. Cause yeah, it's definitely an oversight. It's really weird because on the PD side, nobody has actually, nobody has actually. I don't know if someone's just gone through and removed his name from all of the reports, but he's not
Right.
tagged to any of his previous criminal records. So
Okay.
I don't know if they've just gone through and removed everything or yeah.
Well, the only like Tyson as a actual profile doesn't exist. But the other name does. And when you go to that other name profile, under link reports, it says Tyson Muir Yewe.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah, that needs to be looked at then, because that is. Would you by any chance be able to just like email me a screenshot of that just so I can just reach out with and just show them what we're looking at? Because it's gonna be a lot easier if I show them.
Yeah, I can do. What I will do for now is let me take some screenshots first, and then I can remove Tyson's name as the civilian, and then relink it when the profile gets added. Because at the moment, if they go to the person's profile and they see Tyson Muir, you know that's going to present issues. Got those over to you.
Brilliant, thank you. I'm already in contact with the tech department, and they're like, oh no. So they are taking it
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed it when cause I've started like going through and making the death certificates and stuff. By the way, if until we get it sorted out with the our IT department of you seeing the evidence reports with the DOJ tag, if you want after this meeting, I can send you the current copies of death certificates that we have so far.
That would be a good idea. Either that, or I can speak to the tech department about getting myself just access to. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're only using the evidence section for deceased certificate,
we
death
are right.
certificates.
We are right now. It might change in the future.
Okay.
Basically,
Okay.
it's the functionality of the tag system that needs to be fixed. Because I was also going to suggest using that for PD as well. So if we had like an LSPD tag or a LSPD subpoenaed tag, when we add that tag, they will see it straight away, and we don't have to jump through an extra hoop of emailing it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, whichever works best for you. If you want to do it, like, I just think if we do it, if I just basically ask them to just give me access to anything that has a death certificate tag, maybe, then that basically could work. I feel like that would actually like take a lot of work off you, and it would mean you don't all you have to do is just tag it as death certificate, which I imagine you're probably already doing anyway. You know what I mean?
Or the DOJ tag, if in case there's any other like subpoenaed medical documents that the DOJ needs access to, we can do the same for that. But if it's like a separate, if that needs to be a separate thing, then I think that the functionality of like using a tag on a different MDT for other departments to see, I think that's the functionality that needs to be fixed in a way, and then it should be okay. Because I have added like the rank rolls that you said from your department, and yet you still can't see it. So I think it's just that needs to be fixed. But we'll see see what happens, and if they can do that, that'd be good. So I know Herman's not back yet. I'm not sure if they are going to be back, but on top of that, like where would you stand on PD requesting medical documents from us for investigations? Like, do you think it's better they get a subpoena from the DOJ, or do you think it would be easier for us to be able to just like forward it to them without a subpoena, or like the legalities of it? Like, what do you think?
I think in regards to I mean, it depends really what it's about. If it's like an officer, then I feel like I mean, okay, realistically maybe it should be the district attorney office is the one who should be allowed to just get the files, because essentially the way I see it is, although then again, in saying that now I realize that what we were talking about earlier with the district attorney office not being around.
It's because basically we've had a few officers come to us and express to us that it's making their lives more difficult.
What records are they after specifically? Are they after their own records, or are they after specific individuals' records? Because that's where it starts to get messy.
Just in general, I think it was more 95.
In general, but I think it's more of they bring someone in, they need treatment, whether they're a 95 or whether they're a victim of
okay.
a crime, or
so
one of their officers, and then they need the medical documentation to include in their reports,
Right.
so they can investigate things properly.
I mean,
That's
I'll be
basically what it
honest,
is.
if it's making your life easier, we can do that, honestly. I mean, they can file subpoenas for, like... the way I say it, subpoenas should be more for, like, records. I opened subpoenas and forgot I can't talk when I look at it, because it's so breathtaking. But yeah, subpoenas, really should be more reserved for information that, you know, logically you can't really recover. So, like...
Yeah.
I have to speak to when something comes for the subpoena, I have to look and make sure it's all completely clarified. But it's usually more for birdie or phone numbers or stuff. Like I can see text messages and stuff. Don't worry, I'm not Big Brother. I don't do it much. No, I only do it when and if I need to. I don't go outside the back.
Yeah, to find out if sensitive information has been communicated, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's understandable.
It's super restricted, but that's what subpoenas should be for, in my opinion. If it's stuff like what you're suggesting, then no. Yeah, I don't see the point.
Okay.
If it's gonna just waste your time and waste PD's time, let's just cut the middleman out and just go straight for it. I think that might be best. Obviously, use... my only advice would be use common sense, but obviously I'm sure you will. Just like, you know, if they come in and they're like, hey, I want this criminal's medical records from like 3 weeks back. Why? You know what I mean? No.
Well, yeah.
That would be the only time I'd
we
stop
always
them.
ask why. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if they say it's, you know, for investigation purposes, then it's like, oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
think
fair
if
enough.
anything, if you have to deny a request, that would be the only time that you should probably let me know that you're denying a request, because there's something maybe a bit, you know, if there was a situation where you do feel comfortable, yeah, it's a bit suspicious, let me know, because then I can handle it. But if there's nothing going on, don't worry about it. Just deal with it. Because if, like I said, if it makes your life easier, if it makes all of Sam's easier, we can do it that way. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's also for PD because I believe they did say, I don't remember who it was, if it was David Pierce or somebody else. They did say, like, for like a officer involved shooting, that it's logical for them to request that, because obviously if an officer is involved.
100%.
But
Yeah,
if we're
yeah.
just if we are going to like completely strap it, I think everybody should be aware of that, including PD.
It's like you know, like an autopsy report. If I do an autopsy on someone and it turns out that injuries, you know, are suspicious and they're consistent with a homicide, then yeah, it makes sense for PD to request that and for, you know, us to
Absolutely,
forward
yeah.
that documentation.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to subpoena. Well, you shouldn't have to ask for legal permission to do that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I understand what you mean completely.
If it was someone dying accidentally, or if it was, you know, of natural causes, then maybe it's not particularly needed. Like, I would expect them to have to explain the reasons why, and then we can make a judgment based off that. And if I'm still not sure, then, you know, contact our the person who can go to legal advice about it, and do things that way.
Yeah, no, that's fine then. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if there's anything you ever feel uncomfortable, like they're pushing the luck, maybe you just like let me know, and then that would be you can always just say to them, you know, come back with a subpoena if that happens. And then that would be the time where they can use the subpoena. And obviously subpoenas would probably be more used for defense attorneys at that point. Honestly, it'll be but even then, with most cases, that shouldn't need to happen anyway, because like I said, people can request their own subpoena, like their own information, but not someone else's. So I don't think, So I think we're completely on the same page anyway.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, if I've lost my train of thought. Brain.
I think if it's just like broadly explained, then it shouldn't raise any issues for any of the departments or any of the people involved.
And, you know, we can like we can amend our SOPs as well to say that and make sure everyone's on our end is trained properly and knows what to expect. I think like the only other case I see like a subpoena like being made to us without us knowing about it is if records need temporarily redacting or for stuff like that we've dealt with before, right? Because things like that would have to be a subpoena or a court order for to do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's where like I said, you sort of have the power to. Goodness. Sorry. Can I call
There you
you
go.
back or I'll defund you?
Wow.
Sorry, that was Officer Pierce, funnily enough. But yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I said, if there's ever a situation, you can always quite literally just say, come back with a warrant, basically.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
obviously, in this case, a subpoena. But yeah, you have the right to say that, and obviously, if you decide to hire on, like I said, hire on your own private lawyer, that kind of gives you more of a foothold in legal situations.
Mhm.
Just gonna let
Okay.
him know that I'm not trying to be rude to him. I'm just
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're on the right page, on the same page in regards to forwarding documents to PD that they don't require a subpoena unless we say that they need a subpoena. So that's good. We can amend our SOPs to make sure that people know that. You mentioned about emergency contacts and only the patient actually getting access to the documentation. So we can...
I don't know about allowing emergency contacts because, like we both, when we were talking about it, I think we should just stick to only the person themselves can request it. And then
I don't think I've ever had an emergency contact request any documents anyway. It's more of
I have in a very weird state, so it makes more sense for it.
Yeah, it's more of my family member or my friend is in ICU. I don't intend to visit them, but I just want to know if they're okay and what their status or injuries are, and I think that's perfectly fine. But if they're actually requesting like copies of a medical record to see the surgical procedure, that's not necessary, I don't think.
Yeah, and like I said, if it's like a shootout, mass shootout with cops, and cops, someone like in the DA team is trying to just basically, collect information and evidence for the police reports, I feel like that's, like I said, it's common sense at that point, on your department to just basically go, he was present at the scene, it makes sense that he's, wanting to collect evidence, just give it to him, kind of thing. And like I said, I don't think there'll be any issues there with anyone. I can't imagine anyone would complain about everyone's life being a bit easier. So...
Okay. Oh.
But yeah.
Well, whilst you're here as well, because something just popped into my mind that I wanted clarification on. Mandated reporting, is that still a thing for us? Because I just wanted to confirm, since I have put it in our SOPs because just cover us, but I wanted some clarification on it.
I mean, so obviously I'm comfortable with the way that you guys want to operate, from what I've been told, regarding mandated reporting. Somebody looks like they're in they've been stabbed, obviously. You can call LSPD, absolutely. Especially if you think that your lives are in danger, then absolutely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Where
more
do
of...
you want to draw the line on mandated reporting, I guess, would be the best option.
I think... I think if it's a case of, they're making threats towards someone in or around the hospital, or to one of our staff members, or to another... Let's say if someone is making threats towards another government employee, we report that. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If it's something that happens that we don't directly witness, if it's a crime that we don't witness, but we've heard someone talk about it, that's kind of like a he said, she said situation.
Yeah, you
so
don't
we can't
need
really
to
directly
report
confirm
that,
or
no.
deny it. Yeah.
The thing is, right, some states would argue, and I'm not a big fan of spontaneous utterance because I don't like, so there's a thing called spontaneous utterance, which is when somebody, basically it allows, in other states, it allows for people to arrest somebody based on the fact that they have heard them say something. Now, this,
Yeah.
the issue I have with spontaneous utterance, yes, with evidence you can use it. If there's no evidence, you cannot use it at all, right? So, like,
Yeah.
let's say that you have suspicion, you have reasonable suspicion that this person has committed a crime, right? And they said, let's say they've killed the Pope, God forbid, right? And they walk up to you and went, you know what? I did it. I killed the Pope. Then yeah, you can absolutely arrest them. That's a confession, right? You can use that in a court of law, even though they weren't Miranda rights. But if I just walked up to you now and went, I killed the Pope, you know the Pope is fully alive. You know the Pope is still walking around doing whatever he does.
Like, hang on a tick.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely didn't kill him, and therefore it cannot be used as evidence. You know, and even if he was somehow dead, it's merely coincidental. Like it doesn't work. You know what I mean? So that's my mindset on the whole topic of like spontaneous utterance. And yeah, you shouldn't have to report it unless I guess would be you have a guy who comes in who's been shot. He's in one of your ICU wards. Somebody comes in and goes, "Where is that guy? I thought I'd put him down." You know what I mean? Then yeah, you can report that. You can. You don't have to, but we would really want you to. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, before I think when myself and Jane and maybe Herman got hired on as well, like we were under the impression that we have to report every single little thing.
If you had to do that, you would never be off the phone.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think what we can probably put in our SOPs, like we can word it like, if you see any evidence
you're
of a crime being committed, or or if you witness, you're encouraged to report that crime to LSPD, especially when on duty.
As long as they're not being crooked and letting people rob places directly in front of them, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or stab people directly in front of them.
Otherwise it's your discretion. Kind of thing, because sometimes we get patients that, they have an injury and it might be a little suspicious and they don't want it reported. If it's like an injury,
I mean, if you're
like a stab or a gunshot wound, then obviously it should be.
We also have to take into account danger to life aspect. If you think that, going into a back room might look suspicious and that it might risk you getting shot or harmed even worse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, then obviously we can't expect you to report it right then and there if your life is literally at risk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I feel like everyone has been in a situation at least once or twice where someone has shot up in a hospital or at a hospital.
Oh yeah.
Like, so it's we can't expect you to be perfect. Like, it's not fair.
I mean, and if it's safe to do so, we have was it Castle Law?
Castle Law Doctrine, yes.
Yeah.
Castle Law Doctrine still applies in the state. You are more than welcome. I know some states don't like it. I don't really know what Lily's mindset was on it, but I mean, she's not here anymore, so. But I think that paramedics should be. I think that all people in hospitals should be allowed to carry weapons because, unfortunately, people do tend to like using hospitals as a playground sometimes, and it should be, FIFO. They fuck around and find out. So if they come into your hospital and they start threatening people, pointing guns at people, you have every right to basically acknowledge that there is a danger to life occurring and react accordingly.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the safety and welfare of, like, my staff and patients, because patients are included.
Exactly.
So
One person's life versus, you know, every person in the hospital. Yeah, no, that's where that comes into play in my mind.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a paramedic, the reason the man I'm currently married to is the first, like, I watched him get stabbed in a hallway while I was working as a paramedic, and then I watched them run down the hallway towards ICU to go and finish off one of the other officers who was working, like, who was in the back.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
unconscious
Yeah,
in a
just-
medical bed.
I remember you talking to
Yeah,
us about
so
that.
I had
yeah.
to I had to gun those people down, and you know I don't see. I mean, straight out the legal system basically turned around to me and went, yeah, that's not illegal, because at the end of the day I was protecting people who could not protect themselves. So
Yeah,
that's where
yeah.
I stand on the whole thing. I think it's completely, and not just because I did it, but because I see the reasoning in there. It doesn't seem logical to me that you just, oh well, I can't shoot that person. I can only watch as they get stabbed and then help them. No, like, no, it seems. Sadly, no class 3 weaponry.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
this
yeah,
is
I don't think. Sorry, go on, Jen.
sorry. My own personal opinion is then still like, I think at the very least, if you do want to have a weapon on you for self-defense, you would have to get a weapons license, and I would prefer
Oh, 100%.
a gun over a knife or something like that, you know?
Yes, 100% on that. 100%. It should be a weapons, weapon licensed. First of all, you must have, and it must be a handgun kind of thing. Don't go stabbing people unless it's like a
Would-
last resort kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
God
Yeah,
forbid. I
but
mean, it happens.
We don't like it's in like just like for clarification, just so that you're aware, like in our SOPs, we don't allow people to carry anything other than personal firearm on duty. Like no,
Absolutely.
that means, like no knives, no anything.
Yeah,
like
no, I mean that
unless-
makes sense completely.
yeah,
Well,
so
except
it's just-
if we're going to Bolenberg, right? If we're going to Bolenberg, leave your weapons
going
in the
to-
vehicle.
if we're going to
Mm,
Bolingbroke, we
yeah.
have what's called the Bolingbroke procedure, which is where we leave any personal firearms or things that could be used as weapons in the vehicle before we actually go inside.
Understandable. You are taking PD with you, right?
Yes.
When those
Yeah,
happen?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we did find out that we actually had keys to the front gate.
Oh.
Which I mean I probably need to go and check at some point. Could do it after this, but that should have been rectified now.
Right, got it.
Because we don't want just anyone and everyone being able to get in there. Like we could only open and close the gates. We couldn't like open any of the doors or anything like that. But still, I don't want people to be able, other than PD, to be able to open the gates. But yes, it is part of our procedure to contact PD first before we even go in there. So
Yeah, terrific.
I don't think we have anything else to discuss. Looks like Emin's not walking back up, so I'll check the office just to see if just to make sure he's not dead.
Well, that being said, I also had a question that is not fully related to it as well, but
Oh yeah. Good.
so for any like animals related, how would a procedure go if somebody was to become their owner, handler, however we want to name it?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know because as far as I'm aware, only one of the dogs in the state is owned.
For
Domino
us,
is kind of a stray, I think.
yes, it's just so we had a dog that came to the hospital called Midnight. And it was Andre and Hazley that were kind of like taking care of them for a while, but obviously nothing is like set in stone about that yet. They did take Midnight with them when they went on an LOA. Hastily, that is, sorry. But what I was thinking is maybe creating I wouldn't say a certificate might be the wrong word, but to at least have it like acknowledged, like what we have with Nyx, right? So we put in their ice contacts, we put the people that are their handler in there. So I was thinking maybe creating some sort of like record documentation, however we're going to call it, for an animal, so we can keep track of, oh, who is their caretaker or who is their main contact as well, like a little bit similar to like an ice contact. So in case something was to happen, then at least they would be, you know, they would be aware.
Oh yeah, that's a good point actually. When it comes to the legalities of owners, like, is there anything like written for that or?
I'm gonna be honest. Like, no, not at all.
Okay.
Just because I was not aware when I first entered the state, I was told that there would not be any, and now there are. Which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
It's just kind of threw me for a loop. So I really don't know how to go about it because there's like that line of like, when do we, I mean, I guess I could bring it up with the Rangers department because they're kind of like the animal abuse group, like, kind of thing. Not animal abuse group in that way, but they're very animal rights kind of thing. They're very So it might be worth maybe at some point myself, Jane, and maybe Perry, the head of the Rangers department, have a discussion about this and try and basically find something that kind of works for all the animals, because I'm sure Perry probably knows of way more animals. I know there's the monkey. I don't know if you've seen the monkey that runs around occasionally.
I've heard about it, yeah, he brought it up to me.
He's a
I
good
am also still working on that, by the way. I'm still working on documentation to help Perry out with what to
Yeah,
do
no,
for like the medical side. But because this is more for like the domestic, domestic animals. This is weird to say, but
Oh yeah, no, I understand what you mean. My theory is though, we don't know if the monkey is actually owned because obviously he can't really. He just likes to attack people and get into fistfights, especially with me. I'm not a fan of animal abuse. I don't agree with it, but sometimes you just have to throw hands with the monkey. So,
I mean, if they're attacking you, technically it's self-defense, right?
Yeah, he attacks me a lot. He likes to throw baseballs at me and then he'll just like jump on top of my car or he'll push me out of the car. But me and him have teamed up against an evil clown before. You know, now I say it out loud, I sound insane.
Oh.
as long as he didn't bite you, then tetanus or maybe a rabies shot might be in order. But
I've been very lucky. Yeah, I have been very lucky and not been bitten. I did watch his. He did have a handler. No, he didn't. No, it wasn't a handler. It was never mind. It was someone who's coming to collect them.
I mean,
and then I think it was animal control, and then they got hit by a car and died. It was pretty devastating, but I think the government just kind of came in, cleared up the body because they didn't want you to have to deal with it because it's kind of. It was one of those late nights where, things start to get a bit weird, so things get ignored.
Okay.
Yeah, but that might be something that I want to bring up, at least with the government, to have some sort of like system so we can actually document that. Now, to give some clarification for Midnight, I would like to book in an assessment, so that's basically a medical assessment as well as a behavioral one, if they were to become like a canine of any sort. But I would like to have any new animal to at least be registered, and so they can be found in medical records. Yeah. So maybe we can make like a certificate, or I can make a certificate that may not look like completely similar to what we already have, but like have a differentiate that is a registered owner certificate and with some basic information.
maybe someone should have a license to be a pet owner.
I mean that is
I don't know.
definitely. It's definitely something, but I'd have to speak with the government about it because there would be a lot to it. And that
I
would also
think-
mean PD would have to constantly look into that as well.
But I'm
Well,
willing
I
to
think
work
it's more
on
of a-
that with different departments. I'm willing to work on that side. I just
Yeah,
think for like
because
medical side, it would be good to at least have some
Oh,
information
100%.
sorted.
I mean, you can always link their MDT reports to their. I mean, you can link their profiles to their owners as well. and
Yes,
get that
exactly.
done.
yeah,
We-
yeah.
I mean, we could always do pet ownership applications with the DOJ where instead of like applications, they're just basically notifying notifying the Justice Department that they have ownership of said animal. We give that information to you guys, kind of like the emergency contacts kind of thing. And then yeah, we just kind of go from there.
Yeah.
I think that might be the best option because it's a lot less paperwork and it kind of just makes it also a lot better. You know what I mean? We can also
Intuitive.
be like, well, yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, well, you can't own Domino because someone else already owns Domino. Are you gonna go for like civil partnership over the dog or like?
Yeah, like how
I
to
think
go
it was
about it.
Because
Yeah.
we were confused about Midnight because first like we were told they were owned and they lived with one person, and then just out of nowhere, like magically, we were told that they were owned or being taken care of by another person, and then we were told that like one of our employees has gone on LOA, and they ended up taking Midnight with them, and they didn't tell us about it until we actually asked about it. So it was kind of like, okay, who's the legal owner of the K9? And that was like
Yeah,
the information that we
understandable.
were trying to find out.
And I feel like once it is like put into place, it will be clear for everybody.
Yeah, no, I agree. We can, like I said, we can work on that thing, see what needs to be put into perspective, especially on paperwork on like. I mean, if you have an animal abuse charge, you can't own an animal. We'll definitely put that in there. I think that's, you know, any
Well,
kind of animal fighting, animal abuse charge, that kind of thing.
can we also make it so they cannot work at the veterinary department, please?
I mean,
you can put
yeah,
that in your own SOP.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
would that
is
be
a
would that
policy.
be would that be you know discriminating in a way? I don't think it will be, but no.
No, no,
commit
because
a crime against animals.
it's conflict of interest against their own department.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They are specifically, if they're going into the veterinary department, they are specifically asking to work with animals when they have a history of harming said animals. So therefore, no.
Also-
it's not.
Kind of to turn it around, but how would we do that with somebody that is suspected of like I hate saying it, cannibalism?
Oh, yeah. So I mean, I guess same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always put it in your policies, especially if the government's basically giving straight up. I mean, if somebody tries to sue you and take you to court over it, which I mean, it can happen. If someone does try to sue you and take it to court, basically what's gonna happen is it's just gonna go into a courtroom, and then the judge will probably just be like, well, do you have a history of doing this? And then whatever the DAO drags up, or whatever your attorney drags up, is basically, you know, dangerous to them because they have to prove that they are not in fact a cannibal.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
They
if
would
they've
have, I
already been
suppose they would
found,
have to. Yeah, they would have to have a charge on the record, right? So.
yeah, exactly. So
By
they have to,
evidence, yeah.
they have to basically prove that they didn't do it. But if there's proof that they did do it, then you basically are fully supported, and they get told off for wasting like the law's time, and then it never goes to trial again. So it would be a one-off situation where it would go to trial and then probably just go back out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, don't want to take up much more of your time, so yeah, I would also like to go home and watch some wrestling or something.
Yeah, I wanna come with.
I'm feeling my Word Dwarf podcast, but I believe my husband wants to watch Darth Maul, the series or whatever it's called. I don't know what it is. He's just been pestering me over text saying, "Please
Well, that's
come
a
home."
Star
so we can
Wars
watch
thing,
Darth
man.
Maul."
I think.
Yeah, he's very much a Star Wars man. So,
Hmm.
but I do also, I think, need to see what Officer Pierce wants because he is asking if I am required for. Hang on, let me read this. Do you need me there for presence and intimidation? Haha. No.
Wow, we're so intimidating.
Pierce is so intimidating. He's more intimidating than a wet paper bag. I'd laugh if he was outside hearing this and just like, ooh.
But we are not the boogeyman we've been trying to say this. We are not the boogeyman.
I was gonna say, are we intimidated?
No. I don't know why he would. I think I think when he hears meetings, I think because every time I have a meeting with him, it's kind of got not aggressive undertones, but he gets intimidated a little bit. I think he was just assuming that this would be an intimidating meeting, but
No.
my meetings are rarely intimidating. The only time they've been intimidating is while dealing with Logan Kid.
I mean, you are the Chief Justice. Maybe it's just trying to look out for you.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. They do get a bit. PD gets a little bit nervous whenever I get kidnapped. So, which very rarely happens, surprisingly.
Hmm.
But they do get super nervous. Yeah, whenever it does happen, they do sort of get very hostile. Like I'm talking SWAT vehicles, big guns, full armor. They get very nervous. And it's like I got kidnapped on the day that the hack happened, where we all lost our, MDTs got wiped and everything. I got kidnapped, put in the boot of a car, and then held hostage. I say hostage, I'm using quotations. I got held hostage while they robbed parking meters, and by that I mean I just stood there smoking a cigarette while they pointed a gun at me, and then when PD showed up, they were just like, "We'll let her go. We just want to chase you. Just chase us." And they were like, "Okay." So like that was it. Like it was a quick.
Sounds like they were a bit lonely. They just wanted some company.
To be fair, I think that it was a really weird evening. I was getting two different gangs claiming that the other gang was trying to kill me. Which I still don't understand to this day. They're like, we're here to protect you, Barbara. They're trying to kill you. I'm like, okay. And then the other one will show up. They're trying to kill you, Barbara. It's okay. We're trying to protect you. And I'm like, I don't. Something here isn't right. Why are you both trying to protect me? Like,
sounds a little bit like they're miscommunicating with each other in a way.
It might just be going.
They were trying to provoke each other. Yeah, they were trying to provoke each other into a war. So they were using me, I think, as a puzzle piece, like as a pawn to try and. But I was not playing along.
Okay.
I'm just there like, why don't you two just talk to each other? And they're like, no.
So are we actually are we actually allowed to sue somebody if they are coming in and doing medical stuff while we are not around?
Maybe not sue, but I might need to speak to the.
I
need to speak to the.
Practicing medicine without a license, right?
Yeah, but that's what it felt
I
like.
I don't think they exist. It might need to be maybe speak to the medical board about maybe just like, I don't know, telling people not to keep bringing in doctors from other states because it can easily become hard to understand and comprehend.
I can honestly
I understand
say
why they're doing it, but it can be really, like I said, it could be a real big issue in future.
It can be
unless we
problematic.
get an alternative. Yeah,
but we
unless we can find
we can't sue a local doctor just like PD can't arrest a local for doing something.
And
So-
I've seen a local doctor get sued and fired before for, like I said before, fixing someone's broken leg with lollipop sticks and twine.
Yeah.
So like,
Uh,
yeah, it doesn't really make sense because that money just kind of comes from the DOJ at that point, and that doesn't really help anybody.
yeah, it's a waste of resources if you ask me.
Oh
Well,
yeah, exactly.
It's not only that, but like it doesn't solve anything because we would still need to get them in for a checkup. Because the only thing that we
Yeah.
want to do is to provide the best medical care we possibly can. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
if somebody comes in which we don't know, which doesn't have a medical license, but I even checked just now, they're not in our databases. So yeah, could be a ghost.
Most cases never
Mm.
are, except Nancy. Like, you know, she works for us, but that's like everyone knows who Nancy is, don't they? Like, no one
Yeah.
knows who Doctor.
Yeah,
or
I think
Heisenberg
everyone's
or whatever it was.
Heisenberg, a Blankenship, I think it was, yeah. But it's Blankenship, yeah. I don't know. Don't ask me. But it just feels like it was a ghost, and the last time I remember, ghosts cannot heal people. Can they?
I don't know. I've been revived by a ghost before. I got blown
I
up
don't
by
know.
a ghost before.
Yeah, but can they
I'm
fully
a doctor,
like
not a
do?
cleric.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. it's just weird. Then again, that being
Right,
said, I
let's
don't
get
want to
out of
have
here.
any ghostly encounters now.
Just give it a few more months, and I'm sure we'll be pulling Ghostbusters out the walls and
Oh my god.
screaming.
Ooh, does that mean I can legally get a proton pad?
I
Oh
would
my
like to
gosh,
wear
I
one
mean,
of his
I
guns.
have- I
Puppy?
have the Ecto one.
Aw.
I actually.
Puppy.
I have the little Ecto one. Wait, what? Oh, it is a dog.
What are you doing?
I do actually own the really
That's
cool
Coyote.
Ghostbuster style car here. I have it.
Oh,
It has a
was it
green
the Brigham?
underglow. Yeah, but I had a word with someone and they changed my license plate to say Ecto 1 too. So it is. Still
Come on,
there.
Papa. Go that way. Go that way. You go that way.
Unfortunately, there were no.
Come on. Oh, almost, yeah. No. Go the other way. Oh. There we go. Good job.
There we go. I found them running into that doorway earlier helps them run out for some reason.
Okay.
There was one when they came in like an hour before because I got confused.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get any. I don't know. Depends what other imported vehicles to get brought in, but I'm happy with my Scout.
That's fair. I am trying to buy a house in a minute, but luckily the house I wanted just came back on the market, so I am asking my friend to help me.
Yeah, Jeff and I have a house.
You got any? Is it in a good spot at least? Because
Is it the one that I want?
No, we have a
Or
house.
Oh, no,
We have a house.
we've got
Oh.
ours. Ours is.
I'm
ours
going
in
for
Grapeseed.
Greenwich Place, in West Eclipse Boulevard. It's like that main road. It's not in the hills, but I don't like any of the houses that are available in the hills, and I definitely don't like the big mansion on the hill. Everyone was like, "Oh, you should go for that." No, don't want it. I
Think-
see no interest
yeah.
in it.
Wasn't Herman trying to get that one?
Place. Herman was trying to get the one on Frankfurt Drive, I think. You know, the one like just on the way to the vineyard.
Oh yeah. Me and him. I think we were talking about that. They are nice, but they are too far out the way for me to enjoy. Which is why I'm really excited about the one that came to Greenwich because it's like perfect. I looked at the
That's just
apartments.
above the golf
but-
course, right? Like north of the
Yeah.
golf course, like that
Exactly.
kind of area.
Ah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one, yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice inside. It's not too big, it's not too like fancy, and it's actually pretty cheap. So I'm gonna try and get it, but I'm a little bit I am a little bit broke, but one of the real estate has offered to they've actually offered to loan me a bit of money to basically pay for it. So I'm gonna wait for
That's
him
nice.
to show up. So yeah, because me and him have been friends for a very long time. But he knows I'm very good for returning money whenever I buy from him. I would have had money for this if I hadn't have bought my husband a car.
Fair point, fair point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what it's like.
Ours wasn't too bad of a price. It's the if you've ever been to Grapeseed, it's the White House on the corner. When you
Ooh,
turn
that's
into
nice.
Main Street, it's got a nice view as well when you're outside onto the Alamo.
It's not our
I'll
end
believe
goal
that.
though. We would like to have the yellow house a little bit further down in Calafia.
Mm.
The one with the
Well,
porch and
I mean,
the other two houses outside.
I feel like you've probably already been told this, but everyone keeps repeating it to me. So I have been told though, if you want a specific house and it's not currently available, you can speak to a realtor, and they might be able to get it available. Like they
Yeah.
might be able to like get an architect to come and take a look and see if they can kick the tenants out by buying the house off them, kind of thing.
The only problem is
Yeah,
our real estate was Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I know.
We did do
You
that.
should
I
be
don't
able
know.
to switch realtors anyway. Like
Okay.
not like in a bad way. Realtors are very, yeah, they're all very helpful. They'll all do what they can.
Are they
but-
listed anywhere? Like, or do they advertise when they're around? Or like.
I use Lou, but there's also Ghost.
Okay.
Simon Keller, sorry. I think they're on Yellow Pages.
I mean, Lou, we
Oh.
know. It's the same Lou that has
Vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he lent me some money when I first flew in to get my my first car.
Yeah, that's why I'm like he's turned around to me. He was like, I'll buy you. Well, he won't buy me a house. He'll loan me money for the house. 'Cause,
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, you now that you're like back around, I guess like I'm guessing you have a high salary as high as ours. So
My court clerk
think
makes more
it's-
than me.
what?
Yeah, I don't understand it, but I kind of don't want to snitch on them because like they deserve it because court clerk is one
Yeah,
of the
okay.
hardest positions, but at the same time, it is kind of crazy that they get I think they get $300 more than me, which is wild.
Oh,
I don't know if
bloody
they made a
hell, that is-
mistake though, and I'm trying to figure
That
out if
is-
there's a way I can find out.
That is crazy. So.
Oh yeah.
Mine, all ours, I don't mind you knowing, but we make, it's 475.
Mm.
That's our salary. And then I think, I mean, obviously we don't have directors anymore, but I think there might have been 500. We are in the progress of getting like our grades and pay grades and stuff changed because on our hiring system there's ranks and positions on there that we don't even use anymore, and we've got positions now that we do use, so that's like kind of being altered.
Yeah. I mean that makes sense.
But yeah, like I think like in terms of pay grades, like any more than 500 I think is a little unrealistic personally, but I don't really work for the money, to be honest. I just work to help people. I don't really keep an eye on my wallet app. I just buy things.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I kind of I mean I work just to well, I work a lot and most of my work is oh hang on, I need to fire that person. Most of my work just involves why can I not fire that person? Oh, that's like
Uh-oh.
I think it's yeah, I think it's a mistake. It's okay. But yeah, I'm mostly doing. To be fair, my problem is though a lot of my work doesn't need to be done in state, so sometimes I don't clock in. I just do my work, and then I realize I probably should have clocked in.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, I
a lot
mean-
of the time I probably should have more money than I do have, but like I just don't want to be sat around in my office looking like I'm doing nothing when I'm doing tons, but not physically talking.
I'm actually on the same wavelength with you on that. I also don't like being interrupted while I'm trying to focus on something.
Exactly, and it's like
Uh-huh.
the worst thing is when you're focusing on paperwork and then you suddenly pass out because you haven't eaten, and it's like,
Oh. Oh, yeah.
but you're not paying
Um,
attention because you're too busy focusing on your work, you know?
Yeah, and we both know that because I came to your aid that one time when that.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, you saw that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And it happened in the other meeting as well that I remember too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, it's a real pain. Right, I should probably get off and find out what Pierce wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm
go
sure
on
he
there, go
has
and see
a lot
David,
to
yeah.
annoy me about.
And then you'll be
I
directed
will
to
be-
something else, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, hopefully
I'm
to Bud,
gonna
but
be sure to let him know he's getting fired.
wow.
Right, but
Shall
I
I
hope you guys have a good
shall I
day.
be sure to let him know that he's getting pierced by needle?
Wow. Wow.
Right. But I will see you later. If you need, please email me, call me, whatever you need to do. I will try.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers, Barbara. Take care.
Again.
The needle lift anyway.
I don't know.
Like the mech shop, so I was gonna head all the way down to the one down there, I think.
Okay, we can give you a lift down there if you want.
Casey's diner looks really nice. That's crazy.
If you go and give them a lift, I'll meet you back home, okay?
FM.
You having trouble parking too?
Yeah, I think the garage is locked for some reason.
Okay. Yeah, park behind
Yeah,
there.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll
Okay.
see you inside.
I think the door is jamming.
Yeah, let me gonna move back and I'll try and give it a kick.
Okay. Just be careful.
There we go.